This spouse hires a servant to take care of a doll. Turns out their 3-month-old baby passed away a few months ago. The wife, Dorothy, experiences a full psychotic break. Her family has no choice but to find a doll as a replacement for the baby. Unexpectedly, this thing has brought her back. She believes the doll is her real child. She even hires a young nanny, Leanne. With this crazy job, the husband, Sean, is nervous because he doesn't know what to explain to her. But then she quickly takes the role. She seems to believe this is a real baby more than Dorothy. You don't have any questions? I think I'm going to take him out for a walk now. Even though Sean gets panicked, Leanne still takes the doll out for a walk. This man is a chef. He's always thinking of a new dish every day. While his wife, Dorothy, is a famous TV reporter. Today is the first day of coming back to work after giving birth. As soon as she comes back home from work, she goes to the doll's room to talk with him. Then she sings and helps him go to bed. Sean can only act with his wife. That day, Leanne wants to go out, so she asks Sean to take care of the doll for a bit. He randomly agrees with it. Not long after she left, the sound of the baby rings from the phone. He immediately goes to check. He can't believe what he's seeing. It's supposed to be a doll, but now it's a real baby. However, after coming back, Dorothy doesn't find something wrong, because she always assumes that their son is still alive. Sean goes downstairs to ask Leanne that whose baby is this. But Leanne just replies, "That's your son." The next day, Sean calls his brother-in-law, Julian, for help. Julian looks at the baby and believes that Sean is not crazy. They guess that Leanne has kidnapped the baby from somewhere and then decided to raise him in this house. To investigate Leanne, Sean has installed a camera in the room, but her action is still normal. He doesn't want to give up, so he goes to Leanne's room at night to take a photo of her and send it to a private detective who is from her hometown. The result surprises him. Leanne's family died in a fire and their house is abandoned. Leanne also passed away a few years ago. So who is in his house now? And what is her purpose? Sean doesn't understand. While they are investigating Leanne, she also uses her way to investigate the reason why their son died. Dorothy gets off the car without remembering her son is still in there. She just cares about her shopping bags. When she gets in the house, she turns the fan on and takes a nap. At that time, the temperature is up to 40 degrees Celsius. Under this sunny weather, a car is like an oven. Dorothy has slept until the evening. When she goes to her son's room, it's empty. Only then does she realize she hasn't brought her baby back. Time goes back to the present. That day when Leanne is about to change clothes for the baby, Sean suddenly comes and takes the clothes. "Where did you get it from?" She must have an intention after knowing the reason why the baby died. Dorothy has a mental problem. She seems to have lost her memories, as opposed to Sean, who looks like his mind is full of thoughts. Just only Julian knows the truth. This man is hot-tempered. So Leanne decides to take action from him first. That night, Leanne pretends to have a date and asks Julian for help. Not long after she leaves, a strange thing happens. The baby has turned into a doll, which freaks Julian out. He quickly calls Sean. But Dorothy is also there, so he could just hide it. When he's nervous, Leanne walks in. She doesn't say anything and rushes to pick the baby up. Julian keeps asking him where the baby is. But Leanne doesn't care. He takes the doll from her hands. "If you don't tell me, I'm going to throw it downstairs." Once he lets go of his hands, he hears the sound of the baby crying. But the baby still doesn't revive. Julian is knocking on a pot non-stop. Leanne doesn't say a word even though Julian is going crazy. Finally, when he calms down, he goes to Leanne's room. He honestly told her, "I'm the first one who came there." Dorothy is a successful and eminent woman. She is a famous TV reporter. It was so hard for her to give birth to a child, but she can't stand staying at home for a long time. At that time, her husband, Sean, had to go on a business trip and left her alone at home. He was a judge for a culinary contest. Dorothy was not only taking care of their son, but also going shopping. That day, it was very hot. Dorothy brought a lot of things, but she accidentally forgot to bring her son back to the house. More importantly, she forgot for the whole day. Consequently, the baby was captured in the car and died. Since then, she has become crazy, always hugging a doll as her real child. Sean had no choice but to talk to a psychiatrist about her sickness. They used a doll to be her son to stabilize her emotion and mentality first, but they didn't know that it was a bomb for her. Once she remembers everything, she might be extremely shocked and depressed. Leanne is so angry after knowing this. She asks Sean, "Why didn't you leave her?" He replies that, "It was my fault. If I stayed with her, these things wouldn't happen." It's my fault. Sean wanted to get away from looking after his son. So he went on a business trip for a week on purpose. That's why he always feels regret. This answer has also touched Leanne. In fact, she is not a normal human. When she was a child, she participated in a beauty contest. She really admired the kind and beautiful reporter. After that, her family died in a fire, which also helped her to discover her super ability. When she sympathized with Dorothy's situation, she helped the baby revive with her superpower. But during the time they lived with each other, she has realized that her idol was not perfect as she expected. Dorothy is greedy and selfish even when she had a child. Her child was just a tool for her to show off herself on social media. After knowing everything, Leanne is so disappointed about this woman. When she is hesitating about what to do, a strange woman comes. As soon as this woman comes, Leanne is so scared. She wants to bring Leanne away, saying that this family doesn't deserve a second chance. Dorothy abruptly walks in during their conversation. She says that this woman looks familiar, but the woman quickly refuses it. That day is the baby's baptism, so a lot of guests come to the house. The baby's grandfather makes a wish for him. When you become a parent, unbelievable things happen every day. Every wrong step will change your life. If you're lucky, you can live up to my age now. What you experience will be good memories. This spouse used to not understand. Will they be able to respect what they have? In the evening, Dorothy suddenly remembers where she met the other woman. When she was doing news, she has learned about a mysterious organization that kidnaps children. The leader is her. Leanne is her subordinate. So it is impossible not to obey the orders. Dorothy seems to have understood something. She madly runs into her son's room. Expectedly, the baby has turned into a doll. Leanne has also gone back to the organization. Her co-workers are warmly welcoming her. The first episode is finished here. After regaining her consciousness, will she be able to find her son? Will Leanne escape from the control of the other woman? The answer is in the next episode.